Peace and high frequencies, everybody. Some things that have transpired that I want to talk about. I will go into the dream a little bit later, but I want to share this. Like, when I share my dreams on here, I don't always share the entirety of the dream because I don't ever really, sometimes I don't even really know what it's all meaning. Like, it's kind of like, what does that even mean? Like, I'm trying to still figure it out. Like, how can I share it where it makes sense for, the viewers? Like, I don't want y'all just sitting here listening to me just ramble about my freaking dreams and it ain't making no damn sense and it ain't connected to nothing, right? So what I didn't share the other day has now connected. It's so interesting. And I remember in this dream, now I'm going to share this. It is, I do podcasts and things like that. And under my other handle, Miss Fitness Diva. So I did a podcast, and with one of the ladies who does a podcast, she had these guys on, these two guys who have been incarcerated, but they changed their life. One of the guys, which is Jay, his name is Jay Burton, y'all. He is still incarcerated. He's been incarcerated for 32 years, since he was 16 years old. And he has been wrongfully incarcerated. That's the biggest thing, because what they have him, the charges they have him on, he did not do. And he has been fighting for his freedom. And you can find him on Free Jay Burton on Instagram. So I wanted to share that because that ties into my dream. So the same night that I told you, and this was, you remember I did the video yesterday where I was talking about the lady who had got shot up, and I was laying down with my friend on the phone and kissing on me. That love energy took me to the other side. Well, before all of that happened, remember I told you some construction and stuff was going on, and I really didn't know what was going on, how to connect it. But I do remember briefly in the dream that Jay passed me. It was like I was walking in this building or something, like I was there in the prison with him. And he walked past me and I was speaking, but he couldn't say anything to me. He just looked at me and kind of, how you give somebody that look like, hey, like you speaking, but you can't speak. Like how we kind of did in school, like, I'm saying what's up, but I can't. You may give him the head nod or something like that, but I can't talk to you. It was like he couldn't speak to me. And I've never had that happen with somebody who is connected to me in this realm, who's still living. Now, sometimes it happens where people in the spiritual realm can't interact with people that I'm interacting with on another realm. Because I've interacted with my mother in the spirit realm, and she was on one side, and I was on another with people who are here, who are living, and she couldn't come over. Now, I've had that where she talked to me, and I went over there and talked to her. Then I had to go back, and it's kind of hard to explain, but kind of that's what happened. So anyway, he couldn't speak to me. So I'm in the dream, I'm with a friend, and I'm seeing these students in like this kitchen space area. And I was asking him, I was like, what's going on? What are these students doing? He was like, they're supposed to be following the producers of this show, and this is part of their job. And I was like, oh, okay, producers, they're in the kitchen. I said, look like they just playing, because the kids was just, looked like they were just playing. They were dancing. They really weren't paying any attention to what was going on. So I didn't understand what he was talking about when he said they following them, but they really weren't. So anyway, that was that part. That was the same part of the dream that took me into the lady getting shot up. That was the first part of the dream. I didn't really understand it to even share it to make sense to you all, but now it makes sense to you all. I'm gonna get to the kicker. So Jay and I build on Instagram, because you talk to people, you connect, and some work that he's doing is also helping me with some work that I'm doing and my book and some other stuff. And he already has his book out and some other things that he's done. And we just been building. And so he sent me a message today, and he says some producers want to contract him for his story, and they actually want to make his story a movie. And when he said that, I said, oh wow. I said, shit, that's like my dream. Now it makes my dream make sense. Because before, I didn't understand. I really didn't, y'all. I really didn't understand what that part of the dream meant. Remember I told you, he walked past me, he looked at me, he didn't say anything, and then these children are there actually, these children were there actually supposed to be listening to these producers and learning stuff while they was in the kitchen, you know. And so I never understood what that would meant until today when he sent me this message. I was like, oh, that's my dream. So some things, and like I said, some things I don't share, and it wouldn't have been a reason to share it now if he never shared that with me. Another thing that happened today, and what I really want to talk about is the food that I saw in the dream, because I told you on my Black Fit Witch Instagram page I was going to talk about the food dream that I had the other night as well, that I didn't share yesterday, that I want to share today because it's been coming up. But I had an instance again today. Remember, I talked about it on the video, superheroes and superpowers are us, the video that I just did. And so on that video, I talked about how when I got out the car, I was going to get smoothie, and the guy said, excuse me, he stopped me, and he remembered me from my martial arts class. And he said he had just thought about me the other day, and now he sees me. Things are happening in 24 hours. So today, I leave work. I'm going to the food trucks, because they have these fruit cups. Mango, watermelon, pineapple, all in these fruit cups. And I was like, ooh, I'm on my fruit cleanse for the fall equinox. I can go get some fresh fruits from them. So my coworker was like, ooh, I think they leave at 2 o'clock. You better go ahead and go now. So I was like, okay, cool. So I leave, I park, put my flashes on, I get out the car, and I'm looking for the food truck. And then the guy says, excuse me, you want something to eat? And I looked at his food truck, and I was like, this is all meat. I can't eat this. He was like, I know you. Here we go again. And I'm standing there thinking that it's somebody that, you know, just knows me from the astral plane. Because sometimes when people say you look familiar or I know you, they've seen me travel in the astral realm. And then he said, I know you. He said, don't you exercise and you work out and stuff? And he said, I done met you before. He said, I really have met you before. He said, it was an event or something. And I was like, I don't know. I said, what's your name? And he told me, and I still couldn't recall. I couldn't put a face with the name or anything, but he knew me, right? And he was just real adamant about it. He was like, okay. And I said, well, where is the fruit food truck? He was like, it's over there. So I went to the fruit food truck. Just like yesterday, I get there, they're closed down. They're not even there. So I was like, well, they are there, but they're not selling. They done packed up everything. So I was like, okay, damn. So I walked back to go to my car, and then the chef sees me again. So he was like, you don't want nothing? I can still give you something to eat. Da, 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 da. He's like, but I know you. He said, I said, no. I said, I'm doing fruit all week. I'm on a fruit fast detox. And he said, oh, okay. He was like, you gonna look just like this, the same way when you 105. And I said, yes, that is the goal. That is the goal. So I thought that was interesting to see, again, day 2 of somebody seeing me, either recognizing me like he did, or like the guy yesterday seeing my face, and he had just brought me into his energetic space the night before. So meaning that we have to be careful about the energy that we carry, how we are out among people, because we're always a representative of the light. We're always representations of the light. So just like, I think it was last year, I had the visit from a light being in my dream. And the light being was actually showing me how people would respond to the light. That, you know, you put out this light, and it was showing me people in different places, how they were responding, or they were responding to the light. Like some people was pulling it in. They wanted the light energy. And some people were repelling it. They hated. They was in this black dark space, and they was angry, and they was repelling. They didn't want any of that light energy to come to them. So we have to be very discerning of people that we surround ourselves with first, and then how our light energy is going out, because people need our light, people need our energy. Not to say that we're just blindly just throwing it out here and we're depleting ourselves, but knowing that when we do chi cultivation, if you're familiar with doing qigong and you're doing the chi cultivation, that you still house the prenatal chi, and that needs to stay. You don't want to pull from your prenatal chi, but then you also have this outward force, this outward chi as well, that you can pull from, and then the inward chi that's in you that you can rotate and you can build, and it can fortify you and make you stronger. People can feel your energy field. Okay, people can feel your field. They can feel your field. They can feel your field, and that and it doesn't matter if they know that they are feeling it or not. They are. All right, they're feeling your field. People feel your fields. That's where a lot of attraction comes from with couples and relationships. They are connected to these energetic fields. So, like I said before, I'm doing a fruit fast, or detox for the fall equinox. When fall equinox began on September the 22nd, which was last Thursday. Excuse me. We started on the fruit fast on Sunday the 25th, and we're going to October the 3rd. Nothing but fruits. And so I'm glad this is going on, because night before last, when I had my dream, and I posted a little bit about this on my Black Fit Witch Instagram, I was trapped in this house with another group of people. It was another group, and in there, they were not letting us out. They was trying to use like some type of trickery or whatever. It felt like they did not have our best interest, and they wanted us to stay there for some reason. I don't know why they was trying to lock us in and trap us in this house, but that was their goal, was to trap us in this house, y'all. And so I'm seeing them, they put some food up. I guess this was food for us to eat. And I was like, that ain't right. And I had another one of my crew members that was with me, that was traveling with me, was like, So I was able to go back. It was almost like a remote view, and I'm not quite sure. It didn't feel like I was in an avatar. But I was able to go back and look at this food. Now, what I was looking at was a Mexican pizza. A Taco Bell Mexican pizza. I'm thinking about it. What I saw, y'all, it's just making my skin it's just filthy. So I'm seeing this Mexican pizza, and the meat on it and the cheese and everything, even the tortilla shell or whatever they layer it with, I saw it start to like get bigger. Like it started to expand. It started to expand, and it started to like the Mexican pizza was growing. But while it was growing, it was like decaying and growing. Like as it was getting fatter and whiter, it was like decaying, and it looked like straight death. It just was like, ugh. And the energy and the feeling of it was just filth. It was just straight filth. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, they setting this up in here for us to eat. They really want us to eat this filth. They was trying to, when it first came out, it looked all good and delicious, but what it really is this filth. Like, this is what they want us to put in our body? Like, hell no. I'm going through that to say, because that was on me heavy yesterday, y'all. I even was on YouTube. When I went to YouTube, you know how you go out, you come back in, and Dr. B Serious was on Black Magic 363 from 2 months ago, talking about parasites. He's really talking about psychoparasitology and how parasites actually create a vibration within us. And a lot of things we think we're doing is actually us, like we know, is being drawn because of the parasite. And like he said, para meaning beside or next to, and site, which is the host, so it's next to you. So if it's in you, next to you, it's feeding off of you. It's making you eat and move and do and speak and say all of these things that you think are you, but it's really these parasites that's in your heart, your organs, your brain, your gut, everywhere, y'all. It's not just gut. So I'm linking that video here. It's a 2 hour and some video. It's not short, but everything that he goes over is powerful. If you've seen it, you know it's a very, very powerful video. I'm gonna link it here. But what was coming to me as I sat with that video, now it's been it wasn't last night, but it was the night before last, that this was the first part of the dream that I had, is that house. Okay, so again, the house is like, it can be our physical body, it can be our physical vessel, right? And I'm thinking about, I'm like, the house is showing me that in this physical vessel, like the food that I have eaten has really not even been healthy and what it was supposed to be. It has been parasitic. It has been filth. And these fast food places, y'all, all of these fast food locations that we'll go to, and I know some of y'all, you know, on your journey, and you still eat what you want to because you haven't been led to eat outside of, you know, what you've been eating. And I'm not sharing this for you all to go vegan or plant-based or anything of that nature at all. I just want you to be aware. I just want you to be aware, especially when it comes down to eating at these fast food places and these restaurants. These people do not have your health and your well-being at hand by any means at all. They're just there to make some money. That's it. They're there to make some money. They're there to sell billions daily. That's it. And it's trickery, because you remember in the dream I said it was this man, and he was trying to trap us and trying to trick us. These traps and these tricks are in the food. It's straight trickery, because it creates cravings and wantings and desires for stuff, and you'll be like, ooh, I got a taste for it. Just like, it's so interesting to me that places like Chick-fil-A, and they'll have a line all the way down the street. Like, you can't even get down the street because people lined up to get into Chick-fil-A. And I'm just like, ain't nothing that fucking good. Ain't nothing that fucking good. That's crack. That's drug. That's chemical. That's filth. Whatever they have designed in a lab and created and stored and then call it a chicken patty and put it in water and it swells up, and now you got chicken, you're eating parasitic toxins and chemicals that these people have designed in a lab. So I want you all to be very, very aware. I just want you all to be aware of what you're taking in. It's the only thing that I'm really pushing, is for you all to be aware, because that's the trick. The food is the trick. The food creates the vibration. Because once you can get into a person's body and gut, you got their mind. And you can make them, like he talks about in the video, as docile as you want them to be, where they won't go against their oppressor. And this is for any race. You won't go against your oppressor because of what you're taking in. If we can constantly put up fast food places and wing places and all this stuff and it's not even real food, and it's filth. And so you'll see people who can't give up certain foods. You'll see people who can't go without this, or they can't have this, or I just love sweets, I can't stop eating sweets, or I just love salty foods, or I love hot sauce. The lady told me today she put hot sauce on her oatmeal. I ain't never heard no shit like that before. You put hot sauce on your oatmeal, mama. This lady, she got to be like in her late 70s, early 80s and something, where I teach Tai Chi. And I tell them, like today, I go over it again. This is the season. This is the fall season. We're supposed to be eating based on the season. Those foods to boost our immune system, to strengthen our lungs. Lungs are the organs that hold grief. This is the season to let things go. In Qigong today, I had them doing movements that are in representation of releasing and letting things go. So we have to be in that mindset, and we have to eat those foods, the squash and the pumpkin seeds and the nuts and pears, apples. All of that is around the fall season. It helps to fortify our body. And the herbs, you want to add in ginger. You definitely want to do ginger. You want to add in turmeric. You can add in the pinch of cayenne. I had that today with some lime. I drank that all day today. And it helps you against any type of, issue with sneezing, congestion. It helps to build up their immunity. And it also helps to awaken the lymphatic system, so all of the toxins that's in comes out. And with me being on this fruit fast, it's really going to start to purge. And so the congestion is going to be released because you're letting that mucus out. So you have to blow your nose, or like I did a couple of times yesterday when I was first on the video, I was sneezing, but that was just my body purging out that mucus. It was letting that mucus out. And we got to get to that. All right, because it's so much out here. It's so much warfare, y'all. And we have to stay abreast on that until we can reach up to a higher frequency. We want to do whatever we have to do for this physical vessel, because they have things in place to keep us in the cycle. And one of them is the food. It's the only thing that I can think of that people don't look at as being toxic or drug and addictive. And it is. It's the most poisonous addictive drug out here. And the FDA can approve whatever they want and put it in the foods that the children eat in the school. That's dumbing and killing and chalking up the pineal gland all day. They can, like he was talking about in the video, they have ethno-specific chemical warfare. Ethno-specific, that they drop in different areas that's just specific to a particular ethnicity. Do you think that's just by happenstance that you have different food restaurants in a lower income neighborhood than you do in a suburban neighborhood? Do you think that's by happenstance that's like that? It's designed. So I wanted to put that on you all's mind. Those who hear and will do. if it's for you too. You know, the message ain't for everybody. The message ain't for everybody. Whoever gets it, and I'm glad that you get it, and I want you to get it. But if it's not for you, then it's not for you. It's not for you to receive, and that's okay, right? So, pull up and give me some gas, y'all. And so, as always, I'm gonna leave you in peace and